Hey everyone, welcome back to Modern Mindset. I know you haven't heard much from me over the last couple weeks, and I feel bad about it, but hopefully y'all can find a little bit of space in your heart to try to forgive me. And I think I owe y'all at least a little bit of an explanation about why I've been gone and what's been going on. Because I did commit to making a video a week this year, and I've kind of gone back on that, and I definitely think that I can at least try to explain what's been going on and why I haven't been able to make the videos the last couple weeks. So this all started a couple weeks ago whenever I decided to upgrade my office. I plan on making a couple videos in there every now and then and just swapping around to change the scenery. But I decided to buy a new desk and everything went downhill from there. Well, let's continue the story in my new office. But yeah, pretty cool setup, right? You know, pretty cool desk, interesting, different, you know, makes the setup really unique. But at the same time, it started out with just this desk and it turned into a whole chain of events that was a major headache and a lot of financial issues. This really took us back a couple weeks ago, pretty much the week of 4/30, somewhere around there. And I had forgot about how much of a pain in the ass it was to get a desk into this room, because the architect who designed this really didn't love to let people move into places. This architect thought it would be a good idea to make the intersection of two hallways and a door not line up, so that you had to make this little L format in order to ever make it into this room. Here's a little diagram that'll help you see what I mean by that. In the back of my mind, I knew there was no way I was gonna fit this desk into this room without taking it apart. But anyway, I still tried to twist and turn, try to force this desk through all the doorways and through all the hallways, and in the end, it would not fit no matter how much I worked it and how much I tried to push it. So after wasting about an hour of trying to force it through these doorways, I just took it apart and finally just called it quits because there's no way it was getting through there. Which it wasn't that big of a deal anyway. It was only a few screws to take out, but you know what? I was being stubborn and being stupid and tried to force it, and in the end, that ended up being the least of my problems. But after a couple hours of reassembling the desk and putting all my stuff back on it, my monitors, getting it all set up how I liked it, I ended up going to plug in my desktop and poof, my motherboard was fried. I'm not certain what fried it or what happened. I plugged it into a brand new surge protector, so possibly that caused the issues. But in the end, that really doesn't matter because I built this computer like 6 years ago, and it ended up frying a motherboard that was going to be very hard to find a quick replacement for. It's not the easiest thing to try to find a motherboard that supports a 7th generation Intel processor anymore, so I knew I was going to have to get a whole replacement set up, at least for the most part, but I did not expect how much of a headache it would end up being. To make things worse, my fiance's car ended up breaking down, and I had to end up fixing that over the weekend. So I knew no matter what, I was gonna miss the first upload. So I ended up accepting my fate, fixed the car, and ordered my computer parts that I thought was the minimum that I would need to do to get the computer up and running again. But of course my luck was not gonna allow that. I ordered a new processor, new cooler, new motherboard. But I thought I'd try to save a few dollars and get a refurbished motherboard that was Amazon guaranteed. But you know what happens? It wasn't guaranteed for shit. It turned out that it was guaranteed to be the wrong motherboard. That's what it was guaranteed. Because the first motherboard I ended up getting from Amazon was completely wrong, and it was also completely fried. It was literally, you could see it on the actual motherboard, that the entire motherboard had been fried and resent back to Amazon, and no one caught it. So I ended up getting them to send me a replacement board as well, thinking, oh, it won't take too long. Well, they sent me a replacement. It takes almost a week to come in, and it ends up being the wrong board again. And I was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna buy a brand new board. There's no way they're gonna mess up if I get a brand new board. While I'm waiting on my new board to come in, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna complain to Amazon. And I'm gonna write a strongly worded review and some of my inner Karen to complain about all this bullshit I had to go through. And you know what Amazon says? Psych, you can't submit a review because you're not talking about what you're supposed to talk about, which is complete bullshit, because I was saying that the boards were incorrect. But I was like, screw it, I'm not wasting any more time on this, and just moved on and waited for the new board to come in. And guess what? The board was wrong again. They sent me an AMD processor board, and I can't use that with an Intel processor. So I ended up just saying screw Amazon completely and went to Best Buy and ended up getting all my new parts in that way. So at this point, I'd gone 2.5 weeks without a computer, and I had just given up hope. I ended up having to buy new RAM, a new processor, a new power supply, everything, because nothing of my old computer ended up working with this new motherboard. And I just resigned my fate. For the final nail in the coffin, I went to try to turn on the computer and it just wouldn't boot, because I found out that my hard drive had incompatible drivers on it, so the actual motherboard would not allow me to boot from that drive. But to say it simply, I had to completely wipe my hard drive, lose all my YouTube stuff and everything in order to just get the computer to turn on. But my computer did have a nice glow up, right? You know, both literally and figuratively. So worth it? in the spirit of transparency, I've been dealing with a bit of burnout over the last month, and that also attributed to me not being able to post videos over the last couple of weeks. I got assigned to a new project at work, and that's been very stressful. The whole transition onto the project and stuff like that did not go smoothly, and I can't really dive too deep into that because of NDAs and stuff like that. But needless to say, it's caused a lot of stress and discomfort on this new project, but in the end I've got through it and stabilized a bit of the work that I've been doing. But just being honest with you guys, I could have still been making videos, and it's not the easiest thing to say. I needed time away from this in order to focus on work. But I could have made YouTube videos from my laptop and stuff like that. But I was just overly stressed with work stuff, and I just felt like if I was gonna give all I could to this project in order to make it successful, I had to take a break from YouTube. And hopefully I can make up that and make up these videos that I missed, and y'all can forgive me. Because I feel like the least I can do is still make the 52 videos that I committed to at the beginning of this journey. I'm still gonna make those videos, just gonna take me to do a little bit of extra work a couple of weeks in order to make up those 3 videos that I missed. Because I do feel like I still have stuff to say. I still have stuff that I feel like I could help people with and feel like that I can still grow with. So I still want to keep making videos, and I hope y'all still enjoy hearing me talk about dumb stuff that comes to my mind, and still find these videos at least somewhat informative or at least entertaining in some way. But with that said, hopefully y'all can forgive my weakness over the last couple of weeks and, continue on this journey with me. Because I'll see you next week on Modern Mindset.